Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashlyn. I am a 26-year-old wife and mom. We are currently working on a few financial goals. One is paying for my husband's master's degree debt-free, as well as owning a home by the time I turn 30. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. You may or may not be able to tell, but I am recovering from a bit of a cold. I think it was like the flu, but without the stomach bug part. So I'm not at 100%, but I did promise last week that I would not miss uploading a video this week. So here we are. I am just gonna do my best to not sound disgusting, and I hope you'll bear with me for it. I wanted to thank those of you who left comments on my video last week where I asked for suggestions of the kinds of things you want to see. It was super helpful to see those comments, and now I've got a lot better idea of the kinds of videos that you are interested in. One of the most popular comments on that video was asking to see how we are paying for my husband's degree debt-free. So I thought that would be a good topic for today's video. So a bit of background. We have been married for just about 7 years, and we've been in school, at least one of us, sometimes both of us, for majority of that time. So it's been a long time. I had some student loan debt, but we paid that off. My husband has never had student loan debt, and that's because of the way that he approached it. I don't think he ever had like a big chunk of savings for school, but he kind of just worked his way through and did it at, as Dave Ramsey would say, the speed of cash. So if he didn't have the money, then he'd take a break from school for that semester and work instead to get the funds that he needed. Once we got married, we combined our finances and kind of just worked that together. It wasn't until about 2018, 2019 that we decided to do this whole debt-free lifestyle. So we did have some student loans before then on my part, but since then we have not taken out any more debt, and it's been awesome. So whether you are trying to get your associates, your bachelor's, or a master's and beyond, I just want to encourage you that you can do it debt-free. It's not always the easiest, it takes a lot of sacrifice, but it's definitely worth it in that at the end, you will not have this big giant burden of school following you throughout your life once you are able to get into your career. If you are kind of earlier on in your schooling, it's also super helpful to not take on debt because it gives you more flexibility and options, I guess. My husband and I have both jumped from different careers, doing different degrees, all of that sort of thing. And it was the fact that we didn't have a lot of debt following us and some good income and savings that we were able to make the changes when we wanted to. There were times that I was the only one working. There were times that we were both working. Now my husband is the only one working, and we've been able to do those kinds of changes because of the fact that we don't have debt. So do yourself a favor and do your very best to not go into debt. It's hard, it's daunting, and it takes sacrifice, but it's so worth it, and it's better for you in the long run. So I just want to encourage you that if you're in this boat, you can do it. So the first step to doing your degree debt-free is commit to no debt. This is hard, but just taking it off the table completely makes such a difference in your mindset. If you know that debt isn't an option, you get way more creative with how you are going to pay for your schooling. If you are in an undergrad program, so your associates and your bachelor's, then take full advantage of FAFSA, not the loan part, but sometimes they will give grants, and if you can get your hands on one of those, that is an awesome option. Scholarships are also great. We have not had any luck in getting those for my husband's degree, but if you can get scholarships, then that is great as well. When we were both working, I had a pretty high-paying job, and we were very blessed to have that. So during that time, while we were both working, we were saving as much money as possible, and we were able to save about $13,000. That was kind of earmarked for a down payment for a home, But when my husband decided that he wanted to go into the mental health field, we knew that he needed to go back to school for that. And so we decided to take that house fund and move it over into a school fund instead. So we had the $13,000 saved, and I left my job to be a stay-at-home mom for our 2 girls when my second baby was born. But with that $13,000, that kind of financed our first year of school. So we've paid through this first year. So through December, we are done paying for school. And we have just been saving as we go since starting to pay for school. So right now we are at about $6,500, and obviously that's not enough. The first year cost us $13,000, but because we are able to save, we've got half that saved already, which is great. My husband will be starting his practicum in January, and he will also continue to work the job that he has now. So we will see an income increase then. So we are kind of counting on that, which is a little scary because we don't know the ins and outs of it, but we imagine that our income will go up with that, even if it's just because of more hours that he's working. But that will help us. That extra income will all just go into savings for school. And with that, we should be able to save it pretty quickly, the rest of the amount for school that we need, and then we will be saving for our home, which is very exciting. Another important factor in us being able to afford school on one income, and kind of a low income at that, is we set ourselves up for success. So yes, we had those savings set aside. I probably would not have been able to leave my job if we hadn't had that savings. So it's always important to save, even if you're not sure what for. But we also set ourselves up for success in that we chose a school that was affordable. So my husband's a very social person. He likes to interact with people and be around people. But the schools that are near us that he could physically go to are pretty expensive. So instead, he is doing online school. He's attending Liberty University, which is in Virginia, I believe, and just doing it all online, which is great. It's been a good, flexible pathway for him while he works as well. But it has been a bit of a sacrifice for him in that he doesn't get to be in person and seeing people and doing that, which probably would have been his first choice. But because we chose that school, we also got a discount on the schooling because my husband was a police officer before he went back to school. And so they gave him a first responders discount that will carry him through his degree, which is so awesome. So definitely look into schools that you can do online, things that might be more affordable. You can even call the schools and talk with them about finances, see what options there are for discounts and how you can make it work with your budget. Some other things we're doing to make school more affordable is we don't purchase textbooks brand new. We either rent them from Amazon, or he has joined a Facebook group for his program at that school specifically, and people will sell their used books in that Facebook group, which has been super handy, and we get them for much cheaper. So if we can help it, we never buy a textbook brand new. And you can kind of do that throughout your whole schooling career. We've also really cut back on our budget to make this possible. Obviously, my goal was to be a stay-at-home mom, and his goal is to graduate with this degree. So to make both of those things work, we've had to make a lot of sacrifices, but they aren't long-term sacrifices, is what I always remind myself of. Things like spending money on eating out or going on vacation or doing fun things or eating where we want to eat or buying new clothes, all that kind of thing. Well, those are fun, and I would love to do more of it someday. Right now, we've cut back on everything that is not essential for the most part, and we've just set the goal of getting through school and getting our down payment for our house before we start to kind of let ourselves have more of that kind of thing. Again, that's a short-term sacrifice. This degree is only going to take him 2 years. We are already almost halfway through it, so a short-term sacrifice is always going to be worth it. So that's how we're paying for school debt-free. If you have any specific questions about it, then you can leave them in the comments and I will answer those. You can also check out what our budgets look like our monthly budgets, in videos like this one that I'll have linked on the screen right now. Again, I just want to encourage you that if you are wanting to go to school, if you're wanting to go back to school, but you're also wanting to be debt-free, then I just want to encourage you that it is definitely possible. It's totally doable. You can do it, and it just takes a little more work and sacrifice, but again, it's so worth it. If you liked this video, then I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm like so close to 1,000 subscribers. I know I say it every week, but I'm getting so close. We're less than 25 away at this point, so please subscribe, help me reach that goal, and I will see you again next week for another video. Bye!